It's episode 1292, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
And from LA, from Social Club Misfits, it's Marty.
What's up?
I could do our artist, producer, mogul, because Derek's not here, and you are all of those things.
We got to think of some new stuff.
I know, man. I'm a creature of habit. I mean, I've been saying Loverland
Derek
since
has
2006.
It's like the high tier. How do I beat that? I don't know. Mogul.
How do you beat Derek? I like
mogul. You're like mogul, multi-millionaire. And it's like,
What are some other
creator.
things you want to be defined by?
I don't know. I'm into knitting. I don't know if that matters.
Oh,
Knitter,
Crocheting. Sorry, crocheting.
empire builder.
Knitting hobbyist.
Have you guys noticed that crocheting is like blowing up everywhere? Like that's the sourdough for like Christian women. Like it's like their new sourdough. It's knitting.
I've noticed it. I'm curious how you've noticed
Target. Everything they're selling at Target's like it's like crochet a cup holder, like a koozie, like with like the buffaloes on it.
You know what's funny is the where I observed it is airports. Going to the airport.
Wait, hold on. Women are like full on bringing
crocheting is a big thing right now
at an airport.
It's not the worst thing to carry and travel with. Like
I saw it at the airport first, Jesse. Now that you say it, I saw some lady knitting.
When you're traveling, it's like you're reading a book, you're scrolling on your phone, you're listening to a pod or whatever. I always like, even right now, I'm a fidgeter, right now I have these little magnet kind of stress ball things that I kind of roll around in my hand while
like
I
the
talk.
Asian ones that my grandma used to have.
These are sort of, they have like a textile feel and they're magnets. But anyway, I'm a fidgeter.
TikTok shop.
Like usually, and when I'm listening to something like deeply, like if I'm doing like deep listening to content, right? I like to walk and listen, because if I'm just sitting here on my computer listening, I'll get distracted and start checking email, and I'm thinking about 5 things at one time. Like I find if like my body is physically moving, I'm more focused mentally, right? I think knitting is great for that. Like if I'm in an airport and I've got a pod in, and it gives you something to do with your hands, and I think it's I think no matter what the gender, I think it's a cool hobby. I'm glad it's taken off because there's a lot of situations.
You're a guy and you think knitting is cool.
I saw a dude knitting in the airport.
Yeah, I saw like a big buff guy. He's knitting. And, I don't know.
Again, like
Incredible.
it wasn't like it wasn't like some like old dude from the Phantom Thread or whatever. This like like someone who looks like he's into sewing or fabric work. It looked like just a regular dude, and he had knitting stuff, and he's just kind of mellowed out and knitting. It's Cameron. Here's why I'm baffled that you would have beef with the male knitting communitors in the airport terminals. Is you're a big Lego guy, and I feel like it's basically the same principle.
Dude, I'm
He's
playing
got one in
with
his hand. It's fidgeting.
Oscar Martinez from The Office set. He has a little calculator, and I've been like moving his arms around while you were talking.
Yeah, but
like literally, I have Legos in front of me. I have.
Wait, are you guys always playing with stuff when we do podcasts?
This is
literally
the new
playing with
lunar
the
rover Lego right
Yeah.
in front of me.
But
That's awesome.
I'm a doodler too. But Cameron, my point is, it's basically like Legos, except
Yes.
You can wear
Fabric.
it when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting on your desk, you got oven mitts for days, man.
It's old school. It's old school. I wasn't going to bring this up, but like your mind, you bringing this up makes me think about like old school stuff coming back. When this podcast is out, I have a big birthday that happens this week. And also at the same time, Cohen is going to be driving. And so I needed to figure out a vehicle situation for myself. And so right after we're done with this podcast, I'm driving 2 hours away to go get a 1984 Mercedes convertible, like an old school vintage classic car that I'm buying for myself for my birthday.
Absolutely so
Wow.
cool. The car is incredibly looking.
Totally analog. Everything's old school about it. It's perfect condition, all original. I live in a vintage house, like a 1960s house. I am going to be driving a 1980s car. I am high tech and everything screens everywhere. And then I'm like going so completely analog and old school as well. I don't know. I like
It's a really cool car. I gotta say, it's one of the coolest.
It is
cars
very cool. And I feel like old Mercedes have like in the last I don't know, probably like 5 years have been having a real moment. There was that Miley Cyrus song where amazing beat up old Mercedes. It's a banger.
Wait, I actually
was like, how do you know this?
That's a deep cut. That is not a popular one.
It's a good song.
You're Miley Cyrus. No, I
that's
agree.
Miley. Is that Miley?
But I'm shocked that you knew that song.
It's a good song, and real talk. She's like an underrated, like her kind of country era. Like she's a very talented vocalist, and like you feel like is kind of a real one, right? Like
despite the fact that she smokes cigarettes every single day,
she's working on it.
In my opinion, that actually helps her voice. Like it gives it that, and that by the way,
it gives
it
texture.
It does give it texture, especially when she's singing about beat up old Mercedes. And then it was right around that time, and this might have been, was it the final season of Curb, where a retro Mercedes, probably the same era that you're looking at purchasing.
I just texted you the picture.
Was a major plot point. Do you remember that?
Which one was that?
It was
dude.
It beautiful car, by the way. I just received the picture. Real work of art.
Have you ever seen those videos of the guys, like the older men selling their car and then like seeing it drive away and they're just bawling, crying, like really upset?
That's this.
They're like, why would I? Like he's like upset that he like sold it, even though he has nothing to do with the car. He's got many of them.
The funny thing was, I was talking to the wife on Facebook Marketplace. This is how I found it, and she didn't know a whole lot, and so I was just like, "Can you?" She's like, "It's my husband's car, Carl." And I was like, can you have Carl, like, can you shoot a video of starting the car? I can just hear the engine because you're pretty far away. I just want to make sure I'm not going to waste my time. And so little old Carl is in the driver's seat, and his wife, it was Deb, was filming. And she's like, all right, Carl, start her up. And like he starts it up. And then she's filming all around, the top's down, right? She's filming all around. She's getting detail of the interior because I wanted to see the condition, you know. And there was a couple of oak leaves that had fallen in, you know, with the top down. And she's like, Carl, there's oak leaves in here. Oh, get the oak leaves out, Deb. You know, like they're all like bickering on this video. Yeah. It's great. They've had this car for generations. I'm like, I'm thrilled. I'm going to be a good steward. That's why I keep trying to tell Carl, teach me everything. I've never had a classic car before.
Carl's going to cry on the way, and as you drive away, just be a really just broken man.
I was going to say, hold on, let me go. I'm going to pull up a quick video clip real quick. I did not preview this for inappropriateness, but I think it's probably fine. Hang on. Because, Cameron, this looks... if this guy Carl looks like Steve Buscemi, I have news for you. Hold on.
Condition, it's a beauty. 1973.
Wait, hold on. I don't know why I've ever. This is the final season.
How are you feeling in there?
Oh, this is a beauty.
Right?
This is really gorgeous, huh, Larry?
How good he looks in this car.
Don't be too enthusiastic. He'll boost the price on you.
No.
But that's true. Think he's a booster?
He could be a booster.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he might be a booster.
But it is beautiful.
Cameron, this is you picking up your car from Carl, by the way.
The smell discount.
Anyway, you can watch the whole scene later. But
does it stink? Is that what it is, Jesse?
Yeah, I think it's been a while since I've seen that season, but I think it was something with the leather, like something that like absorbed into the leather, and Richard Lewis and Larry David, you know, had convinced themselves that this was grounds for a discount. Cameron, all that to say, when you pick up this vehicle from Carl, you need to sit in it, get it, and go, Carl, what's that smell? Like
I didn't smell, man.
Yeah.
Smells like old man in here.
Yeah.
Smells like Up Dog. Yeah. What's up, dog? I don't know. What's up too? Jesse, you can ride in it when you come down.
I can't wait. I'm very excited.
Although it's only got 2 seats. So you, me, and Derek, and now possibly Marty may be coming. But you, me, and Derek can't all fit in it. Unless I guess one of you could just like sit up on the hood or the trunk.
Safe. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's not a
we can do it
drive.
like Beverly Hillbilly style. You know, you just kind of sit up on the back.
Yeah.
In a
bungee cord, a rocking chair. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
That seems safe.
Anyway, we have a great show coming up. Later, we talk to author, pastor Kyle Idleman. He has a book about how we've gotten Jesus wrong in the modern church, how we've made Jesus our therapist, our self-help guru, and all this kind of stuff, how American Christianity has kind of gotten things wrong. Fascinating conversation. Emily talked to him. We have a couple of minutes of that conversation coming up later. We also have Relevant Recommends this week. Colony House is joining us. They just released part 2 of an album that has been a long time in the making, and we're going to highlight that. We also have at the end of the show, Spring Break, Would You Rather, Spring Break edition. Would You Rather? I'm excited about that one. I went through it right before we started recording. And we have slices, obviously. But stay tuned right after this. It's Relevant Buzz. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, The Missing Messiah. Is your Jesus shaped more by culture than by scripture? In our instant world, we've made Jesus into a life coach, a therapist, a political ally. The Missing Messiah, a new book by Kyle Idleman and Mark Moore, helps us to understand how Western culture has gradually reshaped Jesus into our image and recognize the difference between a personalized savior and a revolutionary king. If you believe there's a more dangerous, more majestic Messiah than the one you've inherited, visit missingmessiah.com to learn more. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
First thing I want to talk about, I want to kick things off by taking y'all back to the year 2000 so we can talk about a little Papa Roach.
Papa Roach.
Wow. This is my last resort. Separation. Yeah.
No, you know what? You singing that is going to get this episode demonetized by YouTube. They are very
take that off.
Very
take it off.
Well, it's such a perfect rendition.
Sing a different song. Sing a different song that they have.
Can anyone name a single different song?
Listen,
Do they?
In
First
fairness,
resort?
In
First
fairness,
resort?
when you have a song that big that like people just know, right? Like it's in the lexicon. You don't need another
they only
song.
know like 10 seconds though. Like, can anyone?
Separation.
They know the. I will say this: they have that song has two things that any other band, right, would kill to have, which is they know like lyrics from the song, and you have a guitar riff that is just part of the Guitar Center. Like if you go to the Guitar Center. There's about 6 riffs that you just know.
Yes,
you're gonna and you're walking around. You're gonna hear people. You'll hear someone go dun 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 dun. They listen. Career achieved, right? Like who cares if you don't? You're in the Guitar Center Hall of Fame, right? Of just riffs that dudes pulling guitars off the wall are gonna try, and you know lyrics. I got. Listen, they achieved what they set out to do.
Well. The lead singer has achieved even more recently. Emily, tell us about it.
We've got another Christian to add to the list, guys, which is very exciting. So Papa Roach's lead singer is Jacoby Shaddix, and he has been very outspoken about his newfound faith recently. It all started with his decision to become sober, and he actually told the whole story of how it happened on the Dumb Blonde podcast, which is hosted by Jelly Roll's wife, Bunny. I'm going to let him tell the story.
The two things I never wanted to be in my life was sober and a Christian.
Right.
And like, look, and here I am now, you know what I'm saying? Like a follower, a sober guy, but it was a rocky path, you know, to find that, and a lot of failure and a lot of questioning and, you know, turning my will over to God and following, and then taking it all back and then living my way. And then, you know, repeatedly finding myself like just in that deep, dark hole. And, you know, when I finally put the bottle down and really like, is that like that foxhole prayer, you know, where I'm just like, God, do you just hear me? Can you hear me? Like, I need a miraculous change. I need something like beyond what I can do. Cause I kept trying to like control the change in my life. The walls fell, you know, and I had a fella that I was real close with that kind of walked my faith journey out with me. And, you know, I was like very skeptical and very like, these church people are weird, you know? And then when I saw like this faith walk, like alive in front of me, and somebody like talking the talk and walking the walk, and I saw the transformation, it became alive to me. And that it became, I was less fearful of, all right, I'll try to believe, you know? And then it became like, I'm a full blown believer.
Wow. He's talking like a real Christian.
Yeah.
Like that's like, that's
amazing.
not just like, Jesus, he's awesome. I mean, that is, wow. Awesome.
Yeah, he is walking the walk. So I don't know, maybe he will come out with a song First Resort where he talks about turning to Jesus.
I mean,
before
really?
I did see, I do want to give kudos to the Relevant Instagram community, because when we posted this yesterday, like the top comment was, it was, you know,
everybody's making the same
resort.
joke. Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I made it up. Dang it.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Let me tell you something about the Papa Roach guys. I think that, number one, I think that's amazing. But I love that he said foxhole prayer. I've never heard that before. And that like just gave me inspiration. But I like that idea of, you know, number one, like I'm noticing this. There's a lot of like that millennial artists that are turning to God, and it's all coming through rehab. It's all coming through getting clean. And I know that inside of the programs, for most of those programs, they do have like find a faith, find
A higher power.
find a higher power. Yeah. Like I know this is crazy, but there's the Elk Club that's like right by my house, and I was trying to join it somehow, but I don't know anybody, so you have to be recommended to get into the Elk Club. But one of the thoughts is like you have to have your higher power, and I'm noticing that like all these millennials are getting sober, finding. So I think it's awesome. I think it's really
Okay. Can you stop? You walked up and just
Yeah.
knocked on the door and said, "I'd like to join your club, please."
I looked online and everything. Yeah.
And they said, "Sorry."
I have to be recommended by another member. If any of you guys.
So how do you
Emily?
find out who's an elk? Like you're at Publix, like just buying a sandwich.
I can tell you.
Like, how-
I can
You
tell
have
you.
to have a friend. You have to have somebody.
Secret hand signal. Like if he's walking through the grocery store.
he has a,
Well, no,
like that, like an elk.
or someone approaches
Oh.
him and shakes, tries to initiate a secret handshake. And if you don't know
Yeah.
it, so Marty, when you went to the door of the Elk Club, you go knock on the door and a little
Yes.
like slot slides back. And
No,
two
no, no,
sets
no,
of
no.
eyes
They open the
appear.
door. They open a thick wooden
and then
door.
they ask you for a password.
No. So it's an orange circle in California. So they have this famous Elk Club, and it's been there for years. It's been there probably since like the 50s. And so I knocked on the door, and because they said they're taking new members, it said it, and so the guy was like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's an older man, which
Of course,
nobody
old.
was young. Nobody was young, which
Of course
really
not.
threw me off. Like nobody's under 40. And
So this is why you're into crocheting, by the way. You're hanging out with 90-year-olds.
Okay, I want to be completely honest with you. I think you guys are going to relate to this. One of the reasons why I wanted to join the Elk Club was because in Newport, they own this big piece of property with this incredible parking lot. And nobody could park there unless you're a part of the Elk Clubs. So really, I just wanted to get good parking because if I'm an elk, I can get parking. So like it went down like 5 different levels to get the parking spot in Newport. But yeah, and then if you go on the website, they even show the monthly, like every month they have new monthly members, but I don't know anybody. So I need to be, it's like eyes wide shut a little bit. I need someone to recommend me to get into this club, and for selfish reasons.
Well,
But also you're moving away.
But they have they have elks in Florida.
I know they have an elk club around the corner. A VFW and an elk club are like
have a
side by
pool.
side.
It's
And they
heated.
have and they're both lakefront. So to your point, they have good
They have
locations.
great properties, right? It's like Calvary Chapel.
And the VFW will have like karaoke nights and like a packed parking lot, and the Elk Club, like they're in a little rivalry with each other with like their little events to draw people.
Yeah.
well,
There's Freemasons too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they're
everyone
the
was kind of
weirdos.
everyone was a little bit like, don't join them, and I was like, all right, fine.
I don't
They
know.
don't
Yeah,
have
that's
good
a
parking
cult.
anyway. They don't have good parking.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
The Freemasons are
They
not
don't drive
known for their good
cars.
parking.
What
Just
about the
kidding.
Shriners and the
The
little?
Shriners, they drive little cars,
They
so
dri-
their parking lots are very little.
I'll say this. I've been intrigued about joining one of these fraternal orders for quite a number of years because years ago, a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, man, I need you to come out to support. I need friends in the audience." I was like, "Yeah, what is this?" He's like, "I've entered into an amateur boxing tournament." I'm like, "But
Oh.
you don't box." And he's like, "I know, but it's for a good." But again, they were raising money for something, but that wasn't clear. You know what I mean? Like I had to pay to get in, but they were giving prize money to the boxers. So this is literal amateur prize fighting, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. And when I went there,
No
like-
license in sight.
Pretty sure.
oh no, this is the furthest thing from anything legit. But you go in and it's at like I can't remember if it was a VFW or Elk Lodge, but it wasn't a great part of town. This is not a place where you want parking. Okay, there's ample street parking. Ample, okay.
There's
Pretty
everywhere.
much park
you go.
everywhere, anywhere.
Street parking.
There's broke down cars everywhere. It's not a big deal looking for parking. Anyway, like it's a makeshift ring. Okay, this was like clearly these dudes built this ring, and the card after card. One, no weight classes. Okay, this was an open field. And half the guys were like, look like they just got off work at the construction site. Like they're in jeans and stuff. And
It's like you stepped in
jeans.
yes.
You stepped into Thailand for some reason. You're like, it's really hot and sweaty in this room.
And I would say
There's chickens in the corner.
Yeah.
all but
they're
about two
upside
people.
down.
Yeah, all about two, and it was rowdy, man. And all what I would say, aside from maybe 2 of the boxers that were competing that night, looks like they've ever even attempted to box before. I mean, it was just wild haymakers. And it wasn't a couple of guys were getting hit in the face, but they were getting tired so quickly.
Yeah, 30 seconds in.
The matches, like, you weren't worried that someone was going to like get seriously injured from boxing. You were worried that one of these guys was going to have a heart attack, because it was clear this is the most physical activity they've done in a long time. But they were fueled by like Ice House Reserve and a bunch of maniacs in the crowd. I'll say this, after that night, I really wanted to be a part of one of these clubs.
Yeah. So if there's anybody in listening, because we do have the numbers for this podcast is absolutely amazing. We have to at least have one person in an Elk Club.
Yeah.
That could
I
recommend
don't
me and
know,
Jesse.
because our audience is
They're pretty young, right?
under 45, not over 60.
But maybe they know a great uncle who could maybe help out with
We need
it.
to get on it. I want to get in on it.
You bring up a good point, though, because I've often thought about this. Every secret society or like one of these cool clubs has some origin, right?
Yeah.
When is the last time one was founded? And what is stopping us from just starting one?
Starting our own.
The relevant, a club. Like we have,
we were going
Real
to do one of
estate.
those, the Gentleman's Society back in like 2007.
Yeah.
Remember with Adam and the penny farthing bicycles and the
and
mustaches?
Yeah.
The penny farthings, the ones with the huge wheel and the little
One
tiny
big
wheel.
Farthing. I'm going to be honest, it's not the word I heard. So I was a little confused. Okay.
They're called penny farthings.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the H. So.
Yeah, well, it would required membership would be penny farthing ownership and commuting.
They do community events, guys. They feed
Like
the
boxing.
homeless. They do that. Yeah, they do. They raise money in box. It's like the guys have cash in their hand. It's like kind of like popping out, and they're like, it's really cool.
Yeah,
But it's for a good cause.
A lot
Really
of stuff
cool.
looked off book. I'll tell you this:
Yeah.
like they were selling snacks and beverages out of like igloo coolers in the back, cash only, and you're like, Guys, I'm not sure I don't know how sanctioned all this is, but
someone ran to
we're
Costco
here.
half an hour before the event.
Yeah.
Stocked up.
They got little fireballs, and so
Emily.
Oh, I have no idea how to get us back on track. I just
Classic
gotta switch things.
The guys just took the conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I'm just going to totally switch things up here because I want to talk about the war in Iran.
Yay.
Sorry. Obviously, I'm not going to be bringing you any sort of like breaking news because that is not my job. And things move quickly, and we're recording this a few days early. But I do want to highlight a story that caught our eye because nobody's really reporting on it. Did you guys know that there are almost 1 million Christians living in Iran right now?
I did because we posted about it, but I didn't prior to that. We hear about the radical, like the entire country is radical Muslim factions. The fact that there's almost 1 million Christians is just absolutely crazy to me.
Yeah. Obviously, the radicalized Muslims are sort of the whole reason or a big reason for this conflict. But yeah, there's a pretty substantial Christian community that's been there for hundreds of years. It's a population that no one's really talking about. So we wanted to hear from them and find out what is life like for them right now. What are they experiencing? Obviously, as you can imagine, under this regime, many of them go to church underground and are very cautious. So everything I'm about to say is obviously from anonymous sources. But I reached out to Open Doors, which is a Christian NGO that tracks global persecution. And I spoke with Ryan Brown, the CEO. He was able to connect us via email with some Iranian Christians. So we were able to hear from the front lines. And I just want to read you two of the responses from Christians who are telling us what they're experiencing and what they're feeling right now in light of all this conflict. The first one said, I do not celebrate war, nor do I take lightly the suffering it brings to ordinary families. Yet as an Iranian, I also cannot ignore the deep longing for freedom that has lived in the hearts of our people for generations. If this painful moment becomes a turning point toward justice and true liberty, then my prayer is that it leads not to greater destruction, but to the restoration of dignity, hope, and peace. Another one said, as an Iranian Christian, I cannot ignore that under Ayatollah's leadership, the church in Iran lived for decades under intense pressure, facing restrictions, surveillance, arrests, and the constant weight of uncertainty. Many faithful believers endured suffering simply for following Christ. Yet even in hardship, the church has remained resilient, prayerful, and deeply rooted in hope. This moment is not about revenge or triumph, but about the possibility of a different future, one where freedom of conscience, dignity, and justice are extended to all Iranians, regardless of faith or background.
Wow. Yeah, we posted this on Instagram. It's obviously over at relevantmagazine.com. There's a lot more content story of like what their experiences and their thoughts on the current war. I mean, people have kind of picked partisan lines. I think last poll I saw was almost 80% of Americans are against the conflict and us engaging in yet another Middle East war. So it's pretty universally shunned. But to remember that there are almost 1 million of our brothers and sisters in Christ there who are saying, hey, we're not for war, but we weren't allowed to exist under the previous regime, and maybe the future will be different. That's just something to keep in mind as you're arguing whatever headlines you want to argue about. Just remember that there's real people there whose lives are being deeply affected.
Yeah. So we just wanted to bring that because, again, I think people, when you pray for a conflict like that, it kind of helps to have maybe someone in mind or like something specific to pray about. So
I mean, the reality is for the last 45 years, they haven't been allowed to listen to Papa Roach. And that's really no way to live.
Yeah,
so
it's not. And can I tell you something? Since this has happened, my album charted in Israel. I don't know if that matters at all.
Did it really?
I'm dead serious. It was like 31 in Israel hip hop. I was like, I didn't even know they had like their own iTunes store. But yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm like, it just started since the war.
Let's take a global crisis and how does it affect me? Let's make it all about.
Can I make the selfish? Just kidding. It's all.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right, moving on to the last thing. I want to end with a sports moment that is gaining a lot of attention.
You're just bringing sports all the time these days.
Yeah, I'm a sporty gal. What can I say? I tried to say that with a straight face, and it just didn't work out. But
no.
I'm a sports pop culture gal. I can say that. You guys obviously know NBA teams have these like promo nights throughout the season. They're like theme nights, or there's like Latin night, or
in Orlando we have Latin night, we have Jewish Heritage night, we have Faith and Family night, we have
MAGA night,
Elk Lodge night,
the Elks. But with Elk night is real confusing because the halftime show is just a bunch of large animals that they bring out.
Yeah,
and doing this the whole time. Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, it's very confusing and shockingly low attendance.
The elk is a specific animal. It's not a moose. It's not.
We did. Jesse knows this very well. We had Aussie night 15 years ago, and Stuff, our mascot, boxed a live kangaroo.
You're kidding.
Oh my goodness.
For the halftime show.
By the way,
won?
It was
so sad.
It was pretty.
Most...
I'll say one of the saddest instances I think of any intelligent animal would be a trained boxing kangaroo who's like chained to
the kangaroo
cage.
won.
It's like chained. It was horrible.
Oh,
everybody awful. Like nobody was like, oh, this is so funny and kitschy. Everybody was like, this is really sad. He looks malnourished.
I will say this, at that boxing event, the final card was a kangaroo versus a man.
Wow.
And kangaroo won handily. The guy had gotten into the steel reserves, and he didn't even know where he was punching. And, anyway,
the pouch.
I'm shocked PETA did not like cause a whole scene about
Listen,
that. That feels like something they'd be at.
2008 was a different time, Emily. 2008 was.
Iggy Azalea was thriving. It was just different. You just had to be there.
Papa Roach,
last resort,
trending in Israel,
performing with Linkin Park in Vegas. Like it was just a different time,
Different.
You're right. Okay, well, I thought what I was about to bring would be the most controversial night, but Kangaroo Night might be a little bit more controversial. No, there is an upcoming theme night with the Atlanta Hawks playing with the beloved Orlando Magic. So the Hawks are hosting Magic City Night, which is the same name as a large and infamous Atlanta strip club.
Yep. And and they're having lemon pepper wings, which is what they're famous for.
Yeah,
T.I. is performing at halftime.
Rick Ross,
right?
Of course. No, T.I.
And weirdly,
close though.
Weirdly, someone's gonna box a kangaroo. They just threw that in there.
But they have merch and stuff too, and it's like I saw this and was like, "How is this okay?" Like family friendly NBA, children are there, and they're having a theme night for a strip club. That seems very off. Well, apparently, I wasn't the only one who thought.
Yes,
this.
Yeah, a lot of people have had issues with it. I would say probably one of the most vocal is San Antonio Spurs player Luke Cornett, who is a believer. He published a letter on Medium expressing pretty much just his disappointment in the NBA. He said, the NBA should desire to protect and esteem women, many of whom work diligently every day to make this the best basketball league in the world. We should promote an atmosphere that is protective and respectful of the daughters, wives, sisters, mothers, and partners that we know and love. And then he went on to say he was really concerned that this would look like the NBA was endorsing strip clubs and telling people to go to them. And he did not support that. And a lot of other NBA players just like shared his message online. I saw Jonathan Isaac shared it, Al Horford shared it, like all of these other NBA players who also have some issues with the strip club night.
Have morals.
Have
There
morals,
are some NBA guys who have morals who've objected to it. So, but as of now, the March 16th game, which is coming up while this show is out, against the Magic, is going to be Magic City night. And
That's funny.
But hey, if you have a problem with it, tag the Atlanta Hawks and let them know that it's probably
at the NBA. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, that is probably isn't cool. Anyway. All right, well, that'll do it for Relevant Buzz. Let's see. We had Papa Roach, we had War, Iranian Christians,
crochet,
and we had Magic City Night and crocheting.
Welcome back, 2008.
And fraternal orders that they were either going to force our way into, or we're going to start our own and take them down. Look out, Shriners.
All right, after this break, I'm going to bring you Emily's conversation with Kyle Idleman. It's fascinating, and it's not too long. Stick with us. Well, this week, Pastor Kyle Idleman released The Missing Messiah. It's a fascinating new book that looks at how American Christianity has gotten things wrong, how we've turned Jesus into our self-help guru. We've made it all about us, and we have missed out on the Jesus of the Bible. And so we wanted to talk to Kyle about the new book and its message. And here's a few minutes that Emily had with him. Check it out.
Tell me a little bit about the origin. What prompted this message from the beginning?
Just as a pastor, talking to people about their relationship with Jesus a lot, have learned that we all kind of bring some different things to that discussion, whether we know it or not. Maybe cultural interpretations, maybe kind of Western culture assumptions, kind of consumer approach to faith. The idea of Jesus as a personal savior is beautiful. The idea of Jesus as a personalized savior is really dangerous. And yet we just have a tendency to think of him that way. And so I really wanted to put together a book that would help people do some diagnostic work, like try to honestly look at their relationship with Jesus through the lens of the Gospels rather than through, cultural preferences. The Gospels really provide us some checks and some honest, questions that can give us clarity on who Jesus is and are we following the Jesus of the Gospels.
I think a lot of people, we don't recognize the dangers of like making the personalized Jesus. So what makes it so dangerous?
If you think about it as kind of a customized version of Jesus, and over time that may not end up looking at all like the real Jesus. I use this metaphor in the book of taking my daughter to Build-A-Bear, and she goes through and kind of picks out what kind of bear she wants. She picks the color. Does she want it squishy, or does she want it, a little bit harder? Does she want it to say, I love you, or does she want it to say you look beautiful? Whatever. She picks it the way that she wants it. And I kind of use that as a metaphor of how we can approach Jesus, where it's very customized, and we like Jesus to say, you're going to heaven, but we don't necessarily like him to say, take up your cross and follow me. And the way to understand this with the missing Messiah is that when Jesus is called a Messiah, he is being described there as an anointed king. The word Messiah, the word Christ, it's the same word, both means the anointed one. We tend to hear the word Christ as almost like the last name of Jesus, like it's Jesus Christ. But when you say Jesus Christ, you're saying Jesus, my Lord. You're saying Jesus, my King. Inherent in that is this submission and surrender. It's allegiance. It's devotion. And in our customized Jesus, we tend to be drawn to a Jesus who is more therapeutic, makes us feel better about life or about ourselves. We tend to be drawn to a Jesus who is Savior, which is beautiful. Jesus is Savior, but he's Savior and Lord. And so our approach can be very personalized in that, okay, I'm going to put Jesus in this box that is most appealing for me, most comfortable for me. For some people, the box that they would put him in is like the political mascot box, where they want to use their relationship with Jesus to reinforce their politics and kind of put their hope in what's happening politically around us. And so there's these different versions of Jesus that become personalized. This book, my hope is it helps you identify those and then holds that up against who Jesus is as Messiah and rediscovering what it means to follow him as Messiah.
That was Kyle Idleman. Make sure to check out his new book, The Missing Messiah. It is out now wherever you get your books. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
What do you have, Jesse?
All right. Well, this is a feel-good story. Well, kind of. It has an uncertain outcome. But
were any kangaroos harmed in the making of this story?
Not kangaroos, but another animal was harmed, but it may have a happy ending. I'll bring an update in future weeks once we know more. It was during a soccer game, professional soccer game in Istanbul, Turkey. And a player, and I first had read this story, and I was very skeptical because of the way it was written. I was like, this feels like just kind of a fake clickbait. And so I started doing some Googling, and numerous news outlets were covering it. Then I actually saw a video of the incident and confirmed, in fact, this really happened. So it's in Istanbul, and one of the players is clearing it. That's where you really kick it hard, right? And it goes up in the air to the other side of the field. I'm not a soccer player, but don't think of a ground kick. Think he's trying to get it to the other side of the field, right?
Sure.
Boots it. You see just at the top of the frame, it nail a bird at the soccer ball, okay? And the bird, it's a seagull, okay? And it's a big seagull too. And the seagull comes collapsing to the ground, right? The guy that kicked it is absolutely distraught, totally distraught. He and his fellow players ran over one of the players. It was actually the team captain. He was the first one to run over to the bird, started doing chest compressions. This lasted for 2 minutes.
Seagull?
On the seagull, trying to resuscitate it with CPR. The bird.
Wait, hold on. Was he doing mouth to mouth? Because that's part of CPR.
No, you're thinking of resuscitation.
Yeah. What did you say?
Well, this isn't mouth to mouth resuscitation. They're trying to start the heart. When you're trying to start,
but I thought the heart thing
that's
was
only
like
electric.
1, 2, staying alive, and then you breathe into the mouth to get the oxygen.
That's for drowning victims.
Oh,
okay, good to
choking
know.
as well. Choking.
Yeah. If you're
Emily, if you're trying to resuscitate somebody who's very good looking, you can also do mouth.
Yeah,
to mouth.
mouth to mouth. And I know this because I was a lifeguard at a community pool that was 5 feet deep, but still had to go through the training.
Pool of the pay period twice.
Subway gift cards. It's a pretty big summer. Yeah, I'm glad you remember that because I was very honored that
it was not pool of the month. It was pool of the pay period. That's why I always remember it.
Let me tell you this: that company operated a lot of pools. Okay, so I don't think people realize how hard it is to win it.
So let's put some respect on lifeguard
exactly.
Jesse's name. Please.
And those subways, those 12 inches subways, were two of the best sandwiches I ever had. Knowing what went in to earn those.
Also, back then they were a full 12 inches.
Because here's the thing: people don't
realize
realize
recession footlongs.
Yeah, exactly. People don't realize your supervisor can show up at any time and test the pH at any time. Okay, you're always on your toes, and they did.
It's like a secret shopper situation.
No, they would.
When I waited tables at Chili's, that was a daily threat of we're going to have secret shoppers. Your next table could be the table that you know.
No, if someone has like a cardiac event, I don't think you're supposed to mouth resuscitate them. I'm pretty sure that's reserved for like drowning victims.
I'm joking.
I don't know. Well, this guy did not perform it on the bird. He did little chest compressions, okay, on the bird. And yeah, hey, staying alive. Ha, ha. So you do it to that rhythm, as fans of The Office know. Anyway, the bird came back to life, and medical staff attended the bird. The game resumed. And the status of the bird is yet to be known. It did sustain some wing damage, and so they aren't sure what's going to go on, but they are treating it. This is what the player said after the game. He said he was very happy when reporters told him that the seagull was walking again, though it may be some time before he could fly. He said, that mattered more than the title to me. We miss out on the championship because they lost, but helping to save the life of the bird is a good thing. That was more important than the championship. I just appreciate that attitude, guys.
But also, maybe don't kick the ball at the bird, and then he would have been just fine.
It was an unfortunate mistake. It was.
Here's
it
my
could happen
thing.
to anyone.
Not to mention last week's episode, but didn't you say there's like, I don't know, 20 billion birds or something like that in the world?
And I said,
Not anymore.
Yeah, thanks to the cat problem.
Thanks to cats.
But do we really need to resuscitate one of them?
I felt bad. There were children there.
I will
it
say-
wasn't a Magic City night.
I will
the
say-
kids were at the sporting event.
I will say this: if the bird got hit by a soccer ball, which is a pretty big object, and doesn't go super fast, this might be a natural selection type of situation.
That's what I'm
we're just taking this
saying.
one out of the breeding pool. But either way, it's a good feel-good story. So shout out
There you
to.
go.
I'm sorry they lost the championship, but
Wasn't it a basketball or no? It was a baseball game where the bird got
Randy
like
Johnson
exploded.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
It was one of the first things we did. When we were streaming this, when we all went remote, I remember we pulled that up. We were watching it, and it was like, "This is an audio podcast, but you have got to see this bird explode."
Well, and Randy Johnson, the pitcher that threw that ball, is now a professional sports photographer. And he has his own photography agency, and the photography agency symbols is an upside down bird.
That's hilarious.
Stop.
That's amazing. That's so good.
All right, what do you have, Marty?
Hey guys, I have another feel-good story. So United Airlines is now kicking people off their flights who do not use headphones. Let me say that one more time.
Good.
United Airlines is kicking people and possibly banning forever people who do not use headphones on their flights. This is a real story, and they're turning etiquette into enforceable rules as we all travel. Emily, she just went to Italy. Didn't you just go to Italy, Emily?
I did go to Italy a few months ago. Yeah.
Cameron, he's going to Fiji. Jesse, we're all traveling.
Yeah.
We've all experienced this. It's always the same type of person. I hate to just it's always like an older man who doesn't really speak English, maybe Middle Eastern.
I've
I don't
seen
know.
younger people do it.
I've never seen I've never
I've
seen a younger
moms.
person.
I've seen moms.
But I mean, I've done
they
that
just
with
don't
my
care.
son where it's live as well, but it just can't be too loud. Well, anyway, if you decide to listen to a movie, watch reels,
or
TikTok,
take a call,
take a call, they United Airlines now will kick you off and ban you from future flights. And it's the first airline to do this, and they're going to start rolling it out. I see this as a positive. If you guys know, it's really hard to tell anybody to be quiet on a flight, right? As soon as they say shut up, where do you go from there? You just can't go anywhere. You really can't. They're like, can you lower that? Shut up. And you're like, what do I do now? I don't know. And you just look back at your group like, I don't know where I take this.
This
Except
idea of
fighting.
enforcing etiquette is interesting because, literally a week ago, I don't know why this appeared in my feed, but the Tampa airport posted, hey, the official Tampa airport Instagram account posted, hey, we're really sick of seeing y'all showing up in the middle of the day wearing pajamas.
Yeah.
We think we need to, just as a society, stop doing that. And then people got all offended. Don't tread on me, and so I can do what I want. And then they're like, you know what? Maybe we need to make this a rule that pajamas are banned at Tampa International Airport. And I don't know if they're seriously considering it, but this whole corner of the internet was fighting with the Tampa airport about, we're from Florida, we're going to wear pajamas
I was about
we
to say,
want to.
it is Tampa. So you take that with a grain of salt.
Tampa airport is the airport that the Florida man flies in and out of.
Yeah.
Just to give you some
here's
context.
the deal.
They have CVS bags, if that makes sense to you. There's no luggage.
That's
They
their luggage,
travel
yes,
with a
CVS
Publix bag, double bag.
that's right.
Here's the deal. Listen, if they want that, it's okay, fine. If you're making us go back to the Mad Men era of air travel where we all dress nice and this is a big deal, then so are you. We want steaks on the plane. We all
I want smoking back on the flight.
No
I don't
middle
smoke,
seats.
but I want it now back on the flight.
I want if you want us to step up our game, you step up yours. Then we got ourselves a deal. But I want, when I sit down on the airplane, they come up with a little gold tray that has a toothpick, cigarettes. I don't even smoke. But it's taking back to the Mad Men times, and a menu, and I want 3 delicious wedding reception level choices.
You know what?
And maybe
you need to fly Emirates.
Pigs in a blanket.
Emirates airline does that in economy. They have.
I was about to say, Cameron.
Beautiful. It's so nice.
Look at their stewardess. They're wearing hats. Now, if I'm going to dress up, I want the stewardess wearing hats now. and it's like tilted to the side, like T.I., and then their hair has to be a certain way, and like, you know what? Let's just go back.
They have like a
fully.
transatlantic accent, like
absolutely,
They
they
give you
all
like a custom like deck of playing cards from the airline and like
exactly.
a matchbook.
You get kids get pins, you know, like let's just bring the whole, let's just roll it all out at this point. But yeah, so now United Airlines is kicking people off flights, so be careful. They are also offering headphones that you could buy for like $5 on the flight. But as they start to roll out new social
Fly
media,
Delta, they'll give you headphones for free.
Anyway, for free.
All right.
But yeah, as they roll out these new internet, everything's getting better. You got to get headphones now.
There you go. All right, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned after this break. We're doing Relevant Recommends, Colony House. Okay, it's time for...
It's the best of the best of the best of the week. You know you can't sleep. Relevant Recommends.
Like we told you a few weeks ago, we want to do this from time to time. Whenever something comes out that catches our eye, whether it's a movie or an album or something, we want to highlight it. And Colony House was one of those artists. They just released the volume 2 of their new album. Tell us about it, Emily. You talked to them.
Yeah. So they just released 77 Part 2. They released the first part last year, and they also celebrated 10 years of their album releases, which, you know, time flies. And so before I got to the album, I actually wanted to know, like...
It's not Papa Roach level.
Not Papa Roach,
time, but Jesse, you probably interviewed them first.
I'm sure.
Back in the
I think I interviewed him at Lollapalooza initially. I'm
That's right.
almost certain of that. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I got to sit down with him, and I just wanted to hear kind of how, reflecting on the last 10 years, like if that sort of impacted what they wanted the next 10 years to look like. And here is what they had to say about that.
It was a really humbling time to fall in love with those songs again and kind of put my arm around the kid that wrote a lot of those songs, and not just be like, oh, that's cute, but like, no, you had something to say, and I'm really proud of you. And so maybe to boil that down as we look toward the next 10 years, creators of something, music, hopefully, is that we don't overanalyze, that we trust that where we are in this moment and what we have to say in this moment is enough. And that, as generic and as cliche as it sounds, I think being authentic and genuine with what you're trying to communicate is the timeless thing that we're all looking for.
So important context there. He didn't write those songs. It's another kid that he's proud of that wrote those songs. Hey, kid, I'm proud of you.
I think it's so funny, Emily, when you interview bands and the whole band is sitting there, but only one person talks the entire time.
Yeah.
And they're all like, why are we here? Why are we here?
Yeah.
He's like on his phone behind you.
They did, like throughout the interview, some of them did talk, but like the guy in the back, like I actually had to tell him, like, can you speak up? Because he was sitting so far away in the studio that I was like, I don't think this is catching you at all. Like, and it was just like, I respect that, like the band wants to be present.
They're renting
I'll
studio.
leave it at that.
Feels like a little like an Oklahoma City Thunder post-game interview where like the player of the game gets interviewed.
No one showed up.
The entire band. No, the all the other players stand around him, and it's like, why are y'all standing here? Let him have his moment on his own. Anyway,
it's amazing. I remember the first time. I won't say the group name, but there was like 5 people in a group that I was interviewing, and it was the first time I had done like a group interview like that. And going into it, I was like, I'm gonna have to address every single one of them by name, like ask them questions, and then I realized, as like every band does, there's like one person who typically has the answer. So like even when I would like call on someone else, they'd be like, let's let him answer that, and it was like, why are y'all here? Like,
imagine interviewing like Arcade Fire. There's like 34 people on like the one little screen right there,
and they all have Nordic accents.
Which one are you guys? Which one?
I mean, respectfully, Marty, I remember interviewing you and Fern, and like, understandably, you're the talker between you and Fern, and like, I think Fern answered one question.
Yeah.
Fern's
and he's like
just
nodding,
in the background, pop locking, and just doing.
He's actually doing background
like
interpretation dancing to everything that you're saying. Well, no, I did actually ask them about the album as well, and I wanted to know kind of like what was going through their mind like when they made this project, and like was there sort of a message they wanted to share, and they actually did have a really interesting message. Here's what they said.
A little tagline we've put along with the album right now is, you're right where you're meant to be. And that even ties in what we were talking about with when I was younger, where it's like, man, it's more than ever, anything that you're consuming on social media, news is like there's this constant, and this isn't always bad, but I feel like what's being communicated is you're not where you're meant to be yet. Like we're working toward the next thing. You're not, in the position that you want at your job. You're trying to get to the next thing. And sure, like I want to grow. I think we all know, like I want to die growing. I want to die having my mind changed and learning. But I also want to accept the truth that I feel like I'm trying to believe more is that I am right where I'm meant to be. Even if it's not where I'm meant to stay, this is where I'm meant to be right now.
That's a word.
There you go.
A
I
little
like how the
message
guy
from
behind him
Caleb.
though is like just trying to like peek his head out behind Caleb.
You know
The
what,
white
Marty?
hair.
Even though you can't get in the Elk Club, you're right where you're meant to be.
I
Just keep
actually
that
think
in
that's a
mind.
great. I actually
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah.
All right, there you
That
go.
was for
Calling
y'all.
House's new album. You can read that or see more of that conversation over at relevantmagazine.com and check out their new album, 77 Part 2, just came out. There you go. All right, stay tuned. After this quick break, it's Would You Rather? Spring Break Edition. Ooh.
All right.
Okay, it's time for Would You Rather. It's spring break week. Are y'all doing anything for spring break? I'm going on a cruise. I'm going to Jamaica, Grand Cayman,
Nice.
and Cozumel.
Jamaica me
Oh.
crazy.
I
It's gonna
guess
be
I'm
fun.
I don't know.
I'm going to South by. In
Oh wow!
Austin.
Yeah.
That's
That's
not for
my-
spring break. That's for work.
Yeah,
be
but
working.
well, I mean, I don't really get spring break anymore, so it'll
got
be
to-
it's a workcation.
I
don't
got a
know.
couple amateur boxing events that I'll probably pop into. We'll see what the local fraternal groups have in store. But
The local
yeah.
kangaroos are kicking.
Yeah, it's a popular time of year for underground construction worker boxing. So we'll see.
Okay, so we have a Would You Rather. I'm going to ask you guys spring break scenarios. Jesse, would you rather have to share a bed with a friend or sleep on the world's worst pull-out couch in spring break?
Share a bed with a friend or the world's worst pull-out couch?
Yeah,
I'm going the world's worst pull-out couch. How bad
Absolutely.
could it be?
I mean, I'm
the
going on the
floor.
floor before I
Yeah,
call it a
I'm
bed
on the
with a
floor.
buddy.
And
Yeah.
that's the difference between men and women there. I'm
Yeah.
taking the bed for sure.
Yeah.
Marty, would you rather go on a trip where no one wants to take photos or a trip where one person turns everything into a photo shoot?
No photos, and I'm notorious for not taking photos anywhere. So I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Same. Okay, Emily, would you rather do a spring break cruise or a spring break road trip?
Probably cruise. I don't want to have to like plan anything. I just want to get on the boat. Everyone else
No
does
driving.
everything for me. Yeah, I do love driving, but not for spring break.
The unlimited pizza at like 3 a.m. Come on, cruises are amazing.
I love that
Cruises are
that's the
amazing.
one thing you're highlighting from a cruise. Yes.
Well, it's funny enough. I'm
no,
actually
no.
paying for a cruise right now. Like my wife is texting me and she's like, "Do you want to go on the 3-day?" Because we have a credit because my son got sick on the last cruise we went on. But I'm buying a cruise right now as we speak.
Wow.
Nice. I'm going on Norwegian for the first time. I always do Royal
Norwegian is
Caribbean.
great. Norwegian's great. I love Norwegian.
the emo
anyway.
cruise.
No,
The Arcade Fire.
I sent this over to Emily yesterday. There is a emo
Is it depressing?
cruise. There's an emo cruise every year. They've been doing it for 5 years, and it's like all these emo bands,
Like
and it's on
Dashboard
a Norwegian
Confessions and
ship.
stuff
I've had
like that.
Yeah,
I
like
love that.
Hawthorne Heights.
I definitely have people in my
yeah.
feed that will post pictures going on the emo cruise. Like,
If my wife finds out that we're going to that trip,
Yeah, I'll
like,
send you
my
the link.
wife.
Is
Yeah.
it like when we
It's
were
a real
young
thing.
or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Jesse, would you rather be stuck with a rental car that smells weird all week or an
That's a good one.
Airbnb with one very suspicious stain?
If it's just one
Ooh.
stain, I'll take the Airbnb. But once you get this Mercedes, if it's anything like Richard Lewis's, you
Yes,
can tell
yeah.
me which is worse.
Smell discount.
Yeah.
Marty, would you rather go somewhere everyone else loves but you hate, or be the reason the group ends up somewhere no one likes?
I'm usually the reason we're gonna go somewhere. Like, there's a 3 a.m. cockfight in the middle of an underground Thai prison that I invited everyone to go to, and
Let's
I've
go.
done that before.
Okay, Emily, would you rather go the whole trip with terrible hair or terrible sleep?
Terrible hair. Absolutely. I'm a menace to society if I'm sleeping.
Terrible
sleeping.
hair, and like everybody's looking
So-
at you.
For spring break in college, I used to do mission trips where, I won't get into the details of it all. Basically, I would take sink showers all week because there wasn't like an actual shower, which also meant I was not washing my hair. So I had to get really creative on The day we left, I would wash my hair, and then I would do different hairstyles to make it look as least greasy as possible. So I've done that before, and I will happily take dirty hair.
There you go. Jesse, would you rather stay in a quiet beach town with nothing to do or a loud party destination where you can't sleep?
It's a quiet beach town, man. I just want to mellow out and crochet.
I was going to say, you're just going to be knitting in the corner. Who cares?
It's crocheting. It's different.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And
Marty.
Croquet and crochet. That's all I'm doing
It's
all
okay.
week.
It's croquet.
Marty, would you rather have one ruined day because of weather or one ruined day because of group drama?
I do like the drama because then
you like the drama.
I do like the drama. I mean, but also like my friends will talk about everything openly. Like it's almost like you're talking about like your grandmother who's like not responding, and she's like, "You got to take care of grandma." So sometimes we're like having these outer like, "What were you thinking when you did that?" And he was sometimes it's fun to talk about that. I don't know why, but yeah, it's fun to talk about drama on a trip with your friends that all love each other, but there's drama on the trip. A little
Emily,
spicy.
Would you rather spend the trip with no alone time or too much alone time because the group keeps splintering?
Oh, this is so tough because I do love my alone time, but I always go on a friends trip with my friends from Texas now, and I try not to spend a ton of alone time because I never see them. So I guess no alone time. Oh, that's gonna be tough though.
All right, Jesse, last round. Here we go. Jesse, would you rather have to wake up at 6 a.m. every day for activities or stay up till 2 a.m. every night because the group won't settle down?
Easily 2 a.m. I mean, that's more my speed.
I thought you turned into a morning person in your
Not on
age.
vacation. Not on vacation.
Vacation
If I'm on
Jesse's
vacation,
different.
Yeah. That's real life. Jesse is up at bed at 10, up at 6. Vacation Jesse's taking advantage, having some fun.
Yeah. All right, Marty, would you rather have one friend who insists on living in the moment and never checks logistics or one who turns the trip into a military operation?
I mean, I grew up with the military operation because I have sisters. So yeah, I'm used to the military operation. Also, we get things done. At least things are getting done. If you have the person who doesn't know what they're doing and we're gonna do one thing the whole trip. So I'll do the military. I'll do the military.
See, I grew up the same way, and I vacation the exact opposite way now because I just like
free spirit. Yeah.
Emily, here we go. Last one. Would you rather have amazing food and bad vibes, or mediocre food and a great group?
Mediocre food in a great group, easily.
Yeah. Food fight will be starting.
Yeah. All right. That'll do it for One Has to Go Spring Break Edition. We will post clips of that on the Relevant Podcast Instagram account. Follow us there if you haven't. Also, make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every day where we are covering like the relevant buzz stories we brought you, Iranian Christians and Papa Roach getting saved. And I guess we don't call him Papa Roach. That's the band name.
Yeah.
But
Father Roach.
We call him Father Roach. Now that he's a Christian, he's
Yeah.
Father Roach.
Father Roach.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good. Also, make sure to sign up for our newsletter so you don't miss a thing. Follow us on all the socials. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Marty.
We'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great week, everybody.